All right, guys, Rick Murphy here live in Austin, Texas, along with our awesome partner, Royal Diamond, Ben and Kim Woodward. You see Ben on the screen right there. We're going to give you something tonight that is absolutely extraordinary. I'm going to share my screen, but as you all know every week, I'm not just sharing my screen. It's an actual exercise of sharing my heart. So here we go. We're going to do this. Let me share this. Okay, cool. We got it ready to go. We're going to show you something tonight that's pretty doggone revolutionary, and I think I just clicked my Outlook box, which I did not want to do. So now we got to wait for that crazy thing to shut down. But the bottom line with this, what I wanted to share with everybody tonight is when you launch your business is getting some clarity and knowing what to do. If you got a great big box of Legos and just dumped them on the ground, and by the way, only a parent or a grandparent would understand that nothing hurts worse than stepping on a Lego barefoot, right? So that's it. But let's say you had a box of 10,000 Legos, and all I said to you was, build something. You wouldn't even know where to start. So what would happen is you'd look at that giant stack of Legos on the floor for days or weeks. You'd never touch it. It's not that you wouldn't want to build something. It's just what you'll find is when people know exactly what they're supposed to build, they do it better because they've got it in their heads. And I think in this business, a lot of us, because we've worked for people our whole life, like when I say to you, what's your job? Well, I get up, I go to the office, I do the stuff I'm supposed to do, I come home. It's clear in your mind. And I think in Nikken, people want 10,000 a month, and they want residual income, and they want freedom. But when you start thinking about 10,000 people, and where am I going to find them all? What happens is it gets so overwhelming that we never really get going, not because we don't want to do it, but because it's not clear in our mind exactly what to execute. And I found that you've all heard the saying that a picture's worth 1,000 words. What if we could combine a super simple game plan with the Nikken plan that Ben so aptly put together, along with Nikken Corporate, and then we gave you a blend of the clear game plan that Nikken is reinforcing. By the way, every call on the Nikken network is reinforcing. Everything that we do on, I'll enlarge the page just a second. Every call that Nikken does, everything that we do, when you log into Nikken now, you get the check mark that says quality enrolled in 5 customers. The nice thing is that everywhere you go now, this message is going to be reinforced, so we won't have to train it. It will be our culture. And Ben, you've talked about that word culture. When you have something that's culture, meaning everybody gets up in the morning, everybody puts on their shoes and their clothes, everybody has tea, everybody has breakfast, everybody goes to work, nobody has to get trained that that's what being an adult means. What if we could make Nikken so it was so automatic that everybody was flowing in the same direction, and then instead of having to train people all the time, what if we were able to tell success stories and share tips of how we completed something better, as opposed to always going back and re-explaining what is. Part of the challenge that we have as uplines is when we talk to people on our team, instead of saying, who did you talk to, where are we going, let's get me on the phone with new people, we're constantly retraining even what is. So by the time we actually get to talking to a new person, it's after 15 or 20 minutes of explaining what the job is. What if we could quit explaining what the job is all the time and start doing the job? That would change everybody's business dramatically. So what we did was we took a look at what the Nikken game plan is and what the Nikken plan is. And the whole reason is built around 3s is because 3 silvers makes you gold, 3 golds makes you a platinum, 3 platinums makes you a diamond, so on and so forth. 3 executives makes you a silver, 3 seniors is required for being silver. Now, of course, you're going to want more than 3 people. But when you're talking to new people in particular, and this is something I've really observed, when you start talking past the numbers 2 or 3, you may as well say 3 billion. Because the new person in the back of the room, they're busy, they probably got a lot going on. You want to give them something that's visual, that's easy, that anybody thinks they can do, and that your new person in the back of the room, remember, we're not trying to get people off the street to sign up in Nikken and necessarily be all in performing at the Royal Diamond level. One of the flaws you have when you're in the business for a while is you're always looking for that person that wants to immediately get to the vision level that you are, so you get that warm feeling. Well, I think if you really look back, most of us that got started, we didn't start there either. Our vision built from where it is to where it was. Ben can see 10,000 people in his downline because Ben's vision has progressed to that point. But when you're new, it'd be awfully nice just to get that first sign up. So you know that, yeah, I can do this. So let's talk a little bit about this. It's super simple to explain. But one of the also things about modern network marketing, and when I talk about modern network marketing, there's really only one company, and that's Nikken, and that's with the new hybrid, the customer. We're able to do direct selling. We're able to, like, you could sponsor someone that just wants to sell skincare and make $500 a month, never wants to build a downline per se. Now, you can't stop people from upgrading, of course. You can build it old school. You can go out and show the plan and bang out partners, and you can go out and just have people connect as customers. You can do anything in Nikken and be successful. We're not just playing one or the other. But what you're going to find is the bulk of your people coming in today, this is going to be their trajectory. They get introduced to a product, they like it, they sign up as a customer, or they maybe want to upgrade just to get the product, even though most people don't do that today. Most people want to get their feet wet. So you get a waterfall, you love it. Your sister says, man, I want one. They come back to their sponsor and say, hey, how does my sister get one? And you say, well, you've got two choices. She can order it through me and I'll get the referral, or you can upgrade and they could order it through you and you'll make the $50. So the person already likes the product. They've already validated that it's great. They already have someone that wants the product, which means they're starting with someone that wants to make an affirmative purchase. Remember the old way we did network marketing, you meet someone, you show them, they order a bunch of stuff before they've ever had a real product experience or met someone that's interested. So they're walking out with a credit card bill, hoping they get signups. So immediately their energy for 9 out of 10 people, they're behind the 8 ball looking for validation that their purchase was right rather than being excited. Now you've got someone that's genuinely excited. They go to the office. They say, oh my gosh, I love my waterfall. I love the skincare. I love my Marquesa necklace. My wife and I go to the gym now, and a place that very few people had our products, because I go in there just to work out, and I'm more of a business approach. We go in there now and like people are walking around with the earrings and the necklaces on, and customers are talking to customers who are talking to customers. I'm in there about 3 weeks ago and someone says, how do I upgrade so that I can start making those commissions? I said, you don't need the money. You guys have a lot of money already. She goes, yeah, but I like it. So that was kind of neat. So she upgraded. So you have to understand that it's not the old days of the 100 list and the pack and pick up the 1,000-pound telephone and all that stuff that we used to do. That's over sponsoring, because what you had to do was justify a $1,000 purchase by giving them a robust sponsoring experience. What you're going to find in this business is most people are going to go from liking a product to wanting to make a little pocket money because their brother wants something. Their next level of vision is somebody upgrades, and then they say, wow, now what do I do? How do I teach them? So your vision goes from a product to a sale to maybe your first sign up to now you start thinking maybe this could turn into something bigger, and then you step more into the training program. But by the way, one of the challenges you have, if we have one training for people that want to be diamonds and royal diamonds, and another one for people that want to get their beak wet, and another one for people that want to make a little bit of money, you're going to have people who are not training what they do anymore. You're going to have people training, just training, not duplicating what I do. But what if there was a way that you could find the bridge between the customer and the upgraded person that becomes a consultant that helps them run up to silver and get their business set up, yet also would carry you through all the way to Royal Diamond? What if you had one thing that could go through every stage of the business and everybody could use it at any level? And that's basically what this is. So I'm going to go to slideshow here, and I'm going to pull it up as soon as it opens up. There we go, from beginning. And if you take a look at what this sheet is, it's super simple to explain. As soon as it lights up, which, oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it was so fast it moved. All right, here we go. I wanted to explain this to you. What this is called the Teach Street or Reach Street, your Nikken Business Foundation. And what it basically is, I'm going to move the little camera shot down here, is it's set up in such a way that if you get your business started, it's all built around the Nikken Red Zone. So if you're in the business, you just want to sell a couple of waterfalls and make 50 to $100, no problem. But if somebody says, I want this to turn into more, their first goal to talk about, no matter what level you are in Nikken, is getting in the Nikken Red Zone. Now, what that is, between 500 and 1,500 personal volume, not personal group volume, that's a typo there, but it is personal volume. That is the point where water boils. If water boils at 212 degrees, below that, it's just warm water, right? At 212, it starts to actually boil. That's when you can start to cook stuff. What Nikken has found over years and years and years of experience is when you're generating those 5 to 1,500 personal volume points, again, not personal group volume, personal points, your business is going to be hot enough where your level of activity starts to create the opportunity for business growth and duplication. That's not only customers using the products, they're going to talk to other customers, but that's also people that want to upgrade. It's kind of like the barn where everything happens inside of it that grows, you know, all the horses that run out of the barn, that's your stable. So if you go out there and generate that by proxy, you're going to have the person that says, man, I love the waterfall. I love the necklace. You're also going to find the people that say, tell me about this business. But if you get in that zone for goal 1, you upgrade. Your first goal is to generate or create 5 to 1,500 PV and retail sales monthly with 5+ customers. What you've done there is you've executed step 1 of the Nikken plan. And really, it's the most important step of the Nikken plan because it's the genesis event. You've become a consultant. You've begun to churn the bottom up to where you're generating some things. You're playing in the red zone. You're acquiring the customers. Now, also on this, if you do that or when you do that, your minimum check, if you play at the 500, is going to be a $125 retail profit at direct. I want you to understand, in the old days of building the business, if you signed up and got a pack and went out to talk to lots of prospects, because most of the sales we did were internal, like auto ship, you could have people 1, 2, 3 months of the business never get a check. What do you think the difference is going to be, Ben, if someone doesn't have any signups in terms of upgrades, but they're making sales and next month they get a check for $125? It's a world of difference from wearing the donut, isn't it? A world of difference. Not only that, you're getting $25 of Nikken bucks back. So this is great. If you accomplish phase 1 of this, your worst case scenario is your cash flow positive, even if you haven't duplicated yet. Remember what we always used to say, get somebody under you as fast as possible because we knew you were going to probably stay in the business. Well, in the new business model, you're getting products on people that they love. You're generating retail sales. You're getting cash. You're cash flow positive. As you move up through the levels, your $500 to $1,500, you start getting the cash back at senior. It goes from the 125 up to 141. It then goes. Well, I got to mute everybody. Give me 1 second. Got something going on. Let me see. There we go. Anyways, what I was saying is, as you progress through the levels from senior up to silver, even if you only stay at that $500 point for PGV, your check runs what? To about $190 a month plus the Nikken bucks. Plus, if you duplicate this, let's go to the other side. Let's talk if you skew more towards the 1,500, your minimum check is $375 plus your 2.25 of Nikken bucks back. You're making de facto $600 a month without ever generating a downline. So let's take you've got a gal or a guy that wants to go out and just direct sell. Let's say, Ben, they love skincare, they love water, they love magnetics, they don't want to fuss with a downline, they don't want to go to meetings. Their minimum check playing at this level is $500, $600 a month. And the average bankruptcy in this country would be avoided with $300 to $500 a month. And 50% of divorces are because of the average bankruptcy. Right there, you just made a difference in half the people's lives that are bankrupt and divorced if they never build a group. But let's talk about that. If you do start to build a group and you duplicate, I want you to think about this. Now, let's talk about this. Your first goal, goal 1, is to upgrade, create, get in the red zone, and acquire your customers. Your second goal is to duplicate. It's extraordinarily simple. Identify 3 people who want to upgrade, become a consultant, and help them do what you did. Now, you notice on this box, it doesn't have all those numbers again, because in their box, they're going to be on top, and their goal is to generate 500 to 1,500 points a month with 5+ customers and get their first upgrade. Well, then what do? 500 to 1,500 points a month with 5+ customers, get their first upgrade. Well, then what do? 500 to 1,500 points a month, get their first upgrade, duplicate. This is the simplest replicating system you've ever seen in your life. So if you want to lay out a business for yourself, print this sheet out. They're already on pathfinders.biz, and we're going to spice them up a little bit more. And all I would do is put this on your wall or put this in your binder, and let's go out as a team, and let's put names in each of those 3 boxes right below you. And then let's go to the second phase of duplication, which is going to be the teach 3 beneath them. and then help each of your 3 leaders duplicate that process. Now, remember, you may have 10 customers. You may have 8 people who upgrade that just want to do 1 or 2 little things, but these are people that want to play in the red zone. If you've successfully laid this out and put it up on your own, now remember, you may not get all 3 at once and then get 3 perfectly. You may fill out 1 leg. You may get one of these legs that ends up with tons of people down in it before you ever get the second one. Don't worry about the order that it happens. Worry about that it's going to happen, and put this on your wall. Now think about this. What if you're building a business and Ben sponsors Paige and I, and we start filling one out? Do you realize that if Ben's helping me do a teach 3 or reach 3, his group is now going down a second level of duplication? That adds 27 slots to your sheet, but you don't have to track them. I am. You're never working with a market unit bigger than you can see on a piece of paper and bigger than you can manage. I want you all to understand something. If you set these events in motion, you could get 10 or 20,000 people in your group, and you'll have a group that will by and large be working with sets of 9 to 20 people the way you're going to be focused, and everybody will be focused on a small bite, which will turn you into a 10, 20, 30,000 person organization like that. Because so think about the power of this. If you skew and duplicate more towards 500, your check, and when I say, by the way, this also is 6,500 points a month right here. 6,500 points a month if you're skewing 500. Do you realize you're breaking silver, Ben, every 60 days? So I'm starting to pay out at silver here just because this is the life of your business. If you play at the 500 level, your base check will be 500. And if your people on your front line are directs or seniors, it could be as high as 1,280 a month. That's the zone you're playing in for pay. If you skew more up there towards that 1,500 a month in your red zone that you duplicate, your check will, and by the way, let me say this. When I say your check 500 to 1,280 a month, depending on the rank of your team, I'm not saying that's your check. I'm saying that's the floor. Before you get out of bed every month, you got a guaranteed 500 to 1,200 bucks a month coming, and that's a lot better way of getting guaranteed money than trying to fall down at Walmart on a mat and win a lawsuit, get residual income, or buy a lottery ticket. You look at the one on the other side, if you duplicate more towards the 1,500, your check starts at by the way, starting at $1,000 a month is the functional equivalent of over $500,000 in a bank account at today's interest rates, probably more. That's a lifetime Social Security check. That will outperform your guys. I will show you with this. We will show you how to outperform your lifetime 401k in 90 days. This makes it look sick. This makes every stock you're ever going to buy look sick. It makes every investment look sick. It makes your 401k look sick. It makes Social Security look sick. This is a residual cash flow machine without you having to put $500,000 on ice. And this is just the guts of your group, because your group's going to go bam, 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 bam. What this does is when you're new, if I was sponsoring you guys tonight, it's okay, we got you upgraded. Let's get you in the red zone. Don't worry about the rest till you're in the red zone. Well, Rick, somebody wants to upgrade. Cool, let's get together with them. Let's show them the vision. What's their first goal? Play in the red zone. Get your first upgrade. That sounds pretty simple to me. Cool. Hey, I got my first upgrade. What do we do? Play in the red zone. When you got someone that wants to upgrade, let us know. Cool. What do you do then? Play in the red zone. What do you do then? When you get an upgrade, let us know. Simple. Bam, 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 bam. Fill it in. So I want all you guys tonight to get this printed out, put it on your wall. And every time I meet with somebody in my mentoring team, we're going to look at this, because this is going to tell you where you are. It's going to tell your upline where you need help. It's going to let you be duplicable. It works in all 3 phases of the game: upline to downline, downline tracking their business, and downline duplicating into their downlines. What it does, it puts the power of the business in your hands. It demystifies it. Forget about the 10,000 people. Put in the core, the corset, and you're going to get the rest of the people for free. The other side of the coin, if you take a look at this, is if you look at this sheet, this is the other one too. This is the Teach 3 to Reach 3 event duplication sheet. So for example, we're just at Orlando. Let's look at San Antonio in the fall. What would happen if you printed this exact sheet out, but the events one? And for the San Antonio event, you say, my goal for the San Antonio event, for a conference call, for the kickoff call, for my local expo, for my local okay, Paige and I want to launch Austin, and we're going to start a group here. Well, what's our goal? We want to find a teach three to reach three of people in this area that are excited about being it. These are the people that are going to be at the events every time we do one, and I'm going to put it up on my wall. How different would your group look if you actually looked at? So I've got my national teach three to reach three, but then I'm going to have my local one for how I can fill seats and seats at my local event. If I'm going to build Austin, I need a game plan of how I'm going to do it. I want 3 leaders with 3 leaders. That'll be the guts of my group, and I'm going to lay it out. For San Antonio, we're going to release 5 blocks. I'm going to require 2 5 blocks to fill this teach three to reach three. So Paige and I are going to buy 2. I'm going to put this on my wall, and I'm going to fill every one of those tickets with people's names that are going to be in those boxes that are not yet in my organization. And I'm going to be able to track it. What would happen, Ben, if you had 20 of your people who were all filling these sheets out with people that don't exist in their group yet, loading them into a convention? It would change your check. Even at a World Diamond level, it would impact it. What if you had 20 people within 3 levels of a Royal Diamond who were all working on a new teach three to reach three? You would bump a Royal Diamonds check 20% in 90 days. Yeah. Everybody qualifies. Everybody's streamlining. And then there's a third one I haven't completed yet because I want to get some eyes on some of the graphics that says, okay, now you've reached gold. Let's get the third sheet out. We've got your teach three to reach three. Now your goal is to find 3 people committed to going gold or platinum so you can run for diamond. And then I'm going to have 3 golds or 3 platinums with 3 underneath. That's going to be my strategic board. And what I love about this is, and this is the last thing I'm going to say because I wanted to talk about 20 minutes, which I'm right about on. If I'm new, I can pull up that sheet right here and I can be in the red zone. If I handed this to you and I never spoke to you again, you'd know enough to get your business started to the Royal Diamond level and get a check. It doesn't need a video, doesn't need a training. You read it. Goal 1 is upgrade, create 5 to 1,500 with 5+ customers. What do I do then? Identify 3 people who want to do the same thing you did and put their names in there. Okay, what do I do then? Help them do the same thing. Do you realize there's no training required here? You could email to somebody, never speak to them again, and they would know what to do to start their business if they're new. It also helps you be an upline because a lot of people have never been an upline, let alone being a downline. Now you know where to work with your team, but it also works for the event goals. And it also works, okay, now you've gone gold. Let's use the exact same thought process and let's bump you up to platinum now by let's find 3 people committed to going gold and pop their names in there and let's go find their silvers. It works at every phase of the business from direct to upgrade that just wants to make some money all the way to someone running for Royal Diamond. We don't need to have different trainings for people, more advanced trainings, more basic trainings. And what this does is now we pull it up and we say, okay, Frank and Wanda just completed the Teach 3 to Reach 3. Ben, you're here at the expo. Let's bring them up front and have them tell us how they did it. Instead of explaining what they're supposed to do and taking a 60-minute workshop with the whiteboard, now we have a 5-minute talk on how they did it. And the rest of the thing is about execution. We can free ourselves up from, in other words, we don't constantly have to discuss the color of orange juice. We can start to drink it. And that's what it's about. So that's why I can say I'm so excited about this. I literally have not slept in 10 days because we've done this live with people. And it was interesting seeing the new people, Ben. They weren't like, what do I do? How do I do it? They were like, okay. And if they fail, they're getting paid.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what do you have to add, Ben? I'm fired up.
Well, I think this is awesome, Rick. Let me just highlight a couple of points that really strikes me as powerful for this. You know, a critical thing to emphasize here is people have been asking me the question of late, and I've had some discussions on this subject today. Where do I place the emphasis in my team? Is it on customer acquisition or is it on recruitment? And the answer to that question is really on this slide in front of us. It is the balance of both.
Yep.
Yeah, and if we can get a cultural emphasis or a cultural kind of dynamic in our teams where everyone comes into our business, joins Nikken, and they start with a focus of developing 1,500 points of retail sales each month, and then they reach out to others, get 3 others and get them to do the same. And that's just the cultural style. That's just the environment that we operate in. We want to have a good balance of customers. We go out there, we get at least 1,500 points as our goal to develop in our business and retail activity. and then we're getting others to do the same, you will find that you will start getting bonus checks very quickly. You'll start rank advancing very quickly, and critically, you'll start duplicating very consistently. And the great thing is here, as Rick said, it's all there on one slide. That keeps it nice and simple. You can see that there is a real strong balance in this message. You can do it with 500 points of retail. You can do it with 1,500, depending on what pace you want to go and how you want to build your business. But the critical thing is, what we're teaching here is balance between getting customers and getting customer gatherers, getting the business builders. And when you bring the two together like this, then you get real momentum in your team, which is very, very exciting. So I love this. I think it's a strong message. I also love how you've incorporated this into getting your teams to events and teaching them to do the same. I have heard over and over again that we grow our business from event to event. And that is really important. There is not, that's not a theory. That is well-executed strategy with proven results. The critical thing that I would emphasize is, where do we start with this? I would suggest to everyone on the call that we start at home with us right now. If we don't have that volume in our business right now, our goal for April, we're at the beginning of the month, should be to immediately go out there and get that volume in retail sales this month. Get people into your home. It starts with an in-home. Like Rick said before, you've got your national team, your organization wherever it exists, but then you've got your local team as well. And so as we start local and we get them to do the same, or we build out. If you want to get 3 duplicating, it'll typically begin in your close proximity. Yeah. And that would be something that I would emphasize. I've been bombarded over the last few weeks with all sorts of people that can show me how to get thousands of leads in the business and to create a recruiting explosion. I think that's fantastic, but I also know the data and how it works out and how it rolls out. The reality is, if you want to start strong, we do start with our warm market and we build out from there. Who do you know? I remember someone once saying to me, the strength of the business lies, it's not in who you know, it's in who they know. And as we start to build out from there, start local and build out, support them, teach 3 to reach 3 and get that duplication going on, and encourage them to attend the events where the energy, the excitement, the confidence grows. Then we start to get a team where we're celebrating together, we're growing together, we're earning together. And that is a business that will just thrive and prosper for years to come.
You ever heard the saying, Ben, that if somebody said, well, I don't know anybody, I'm cold market. Well, be nice and sponsor someone with a warm market. You're going to get a lot farther than buying 1,000 leads. Exactly.
And I've found very quickly that things move much faster when we get out and talk to people versus just try to find them online. I'm not poo-pooing the online recruitment action. There is a place for everything there. But if you want to get some immediate action, it'll require you getting up there, talking to people, pulling them into your home, having those presentations at home and building out organically. And then complementing that with the online stuff.
And I'm going to have, not only when I sponsor somebody, I'll have the teach to reach who you're looking at there, but then we'll also have, like when we do events, I'll have a separate one for the event in their local area. Like, Ben, I may have one, okay, we're going to do a Super Saturday in Austin, June 11th. I'm going to have one just for that event. I'll have another one for San Antonio with people that are coming in from a distance. If we're doing a big online preview, I may say, I'm going to see how many I can load into this event. What it does, it gives us a framework. So I think a lot of people do a lot of work, but just because you're busy doesn't mean you're productive. Yeah. And what this does, it gets you productive. And I also found the people that we were sponsoring with this over the last month feel like they're accomplishing something because they're cash positive. And one of the hardest things I remember in the old Nikken world or the old network marketing world was people that come in, they buy a pack, and 90 days later, they still have nobody else that's come in and bought a pack. Yeah. If you come on and you buy a Marquesa necklace for me and you get a check from Nikken for $22, they're more excited than if they're 3 months in with $1,000 credit card bill and no prospects. This changes the discussion from into degrees of winning rather than swinging for a home run every time of someone that's coming in to buy a pack that wants to be a Royal Diamond. We were going after such a narrow segment of people that want to go for Royal Diamond. I think you're going to find with this, it'll capture the bulk of the people that maybe right now only see a couple $100 a month. They just don't have the vision of 10,000 a month. But if I get them a couple checks, or Nikken sends them a couple $200 or $300 checks, then their vision, then they can see 500. And if they get a couple of regular checks at 500, then they can see 1,000.
Well, here's the great thing, and I'll share some recent conversations that I've had literally over the last couple of days with people that I've brought into the business over these last month or so. I was speaking with a frontline new recruit of mine this morning, and the great thing was, in the
Hi, Rick.
There he is. I was just going to holler at you too, Dave. Hey, there's Dave too. But go ahead, Ben. We lost you at frontline recruit.
Okay, yeah. One of my frontline recruits. I was chatting to him this morning about how to move forward with this business, and the great thing is now with this strategy that we're teaching here, we don't have the argument that we used to have that I can't afford to build my business because I can't afford to buy a big pack.
Yes.
Yeah. Because the great thing was, he was saying to me, so how do I get started? And I said, the starting point for you is go out and get at least 1,500 points of retail sales. And I said, get that established, because when you start with that, that will create a culture. You'll have some immediate experience when you're bringing people in of knowing how to help them to get their customers, get them started, familiarize them with the process, and get them to do the same. I said, of course, if you find someone along the way that's a go-getter and wants to build the business, you don't say, I need to wait until I've got my retail volume. You, of course, you bring them and you get them moving. That's part of the process. But the great thing is as well, he brought someone in last month. The reason we're having this conversation is he looks like he's got someone that's going to get started faster than he is. He doesn't want to get bypassed. So he was like, what do I do? What do I do? But the great thing is I want to talk about his down the line now, because we helped to bring her in last month. Marie and Mike Barber from Lancashire in England. Most of my personal group is developing in the UK because that's where my leads are. But here's the interesting thing. She joined. She's a stay-at-home mum. She joined because she wanted to be a mummy blogger. She has a blog on healthy living, and she thought this could monetize that a little bit. As she's plugged into these calls that we're having each week now, as she's getting the recordings of some of those that she can't listen to live because of the time zone, as she's listening to the testimonials that Jeff Isom is posting online, she messaged me and she said, Ben, this is bigger than what I realized, what I first thought, that these products are changing people's lives. All of a sudden, she started to think, not just in the context of who might I be able to reach out to via my blog, but I've got a lot of people that I know locally that need these products. These products make a difference. And she came in really to do a little bit of retailing. And now, as a result of getting connected with this system and this model of all of these calls working together, now all of a sudden she's starting to see a bigger picture, and she's already gotten her line of vision going for silver. And that's happened because this model works. The products are meaningful, and it's a simple process of duplication. And she's got people already now in her downline that have got goals to go senior over the next few weeks. Awesome. And this is really exciting, because what it shows me is when we bring someone in at the front stage and say, how do you get started? You don't have to invest. You just have to go out there and share your conviction about the products. Do that and get some customers. And then in the process, you'll get that volume coming in, giving you profit. You're making money straight away. You can help others to do the same from there. And then you're going to start to grow out organically and become executive, senior, a silver, and beyond. And
you know what else, too, Ben? You're not going to have to all of a sudden switch gears from, okay, now you're Miss Sally retail. Oh, now go to become a diamond. You're able to take on an arc like that.
That's the critical point, because some people have gotten a little confused as we've moved away from that pack strategy and we've started to talk about retailing. They've gotten confused because they think our focus now is exclusively on customer acquisition and on retailing, and it's not. What we're doing here is we are empowering more than ever before the distributor to earn more money. Because as we get everyone in their teams, think of this, whether you're a silver, whether you're a senior, an executive, a silver, gold, platinum, diamond, wherever you are in the organization, I want you to imagine right now what would happen if the culture of your team was to go out there and do at least 500 to 1,500 points of retail sales every month. What would that do to your commission checks? What would that do to your downline's commission checks? And the great thing is, the vast majority of people in network marketing, this is one of the brutal realities of the business. The vast majority will only earn a little bit because they only do a little bit. So immediately by getting them focused on customer acquisition as a starting point, not as an end point, as a start, what we do there is we immediately double, triple, significantly increase their earnings because now they're getting retail profits that they weren't getting before.
You know what else it does too? The real reason we did this, I kept feeling like I was jumping from I'm retailing to now I've got to go recruit, like from one foot to the other. Yeah. I wanted a way where it was an absolute straight shot to where when I'm retailing, I'm also recruiting, I'm also organization building.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Right? And Dave, pop over on the live side too, Dave. We want to hear what you have to say. I didn't want to constantly feel like we were jumping from our left foot to our right foot. I think what this really does, it takes the initial selling of the waterfall and it connects it to a raw diamond pin, as opposed to being two separate, like almost like an interstate going across the medium, waving at each other.
Yeah, and the great thing about this is it's adaptable and flexible for anybody's goals.
Yes.
You don't need to worry about this if you're a customer, because if you're a customer, you just buy the products and you enjoy them. If you've joined as a business builder, you're going to want to do either the 500, the 1,000, or the 1,500. Take your pick and you grow it organically. And maybe when you got to 500, you go, you know what, I'm going to keep working at this and get to 1,000. Maybe it takes you a couple of months to get there. That's okay.
You're getting paid. Ben, it's not like before where it takes you 3 months to find a senior and you make no checks for 4 months. You're getting 50, 80, 100, 200 bucks a month while you're finding how to build the business.
Yeah.
You're getting paid to gain your proficiency.
Exactly.
Which has never happened before, has it, in network marketing?
No, exactly. Because most people in network marketing talk heavily about recruitment and pack purchases, which hinders the downline significantly because they invest in that personally, and typically they won't see that come back to them in their commission checks because they don't have the organization.
Right.
Building a customer foundation and a distributor foundation, which builds and grows your business with the right culture and the right behavior. And it profits you and rewards you every step of the way. In my eyes, it is the most complete and most straightforward model for building the business, especially when you couple it with the products where, like I said, brand new lady, Marie Barber, out there in Lancashire going, oh my goodness, these products really change people's lives. This is incredible. I've joined something bigger than what I realized. This is great. And what a great epiphany to have. What a great discovery to have. And then suddenly go, I want to do more with it. She's getting more charged, more motivated, and more invigorated as time goes on, which is a great indicator for her future success.
We're getting great feedback tonight, too, from people asking for the document already. People are really excited about it. It's on Pathfinders now, either on the tools page or on the business launch page. We're going to work on the graphics a little bit too, Ben. I know you have some ideas about that too.
Yeah,
we're going to make it look a little bit better too. And Dave, what do you want to throw in the till, man? I know you're the grand poobah here. What do you think?
Well, if you guys could just get excited about this, then I think we can have something here.
We're working on it.
I am thrilled, and you know what we're talking about is not a theory. This is not some new experiment. This is how people have made $1,000 a month or $100,000 a month. It all looks like this. And that's not just Nikken, but across the board of over 60 years of the profession of network marketing. You look at anybody's successful business, they have 2 or 3 key people, and that's the extent of 90% of their business. And so we're teaching people to do what's already been done before, with the added advantage. We're going into just we've already had the huge power of products that really work and do change lives, and now been priced so it's more customer friendly than ever. And then if that wasn't enough, the retail component, so you can make money immediately. And then I think about this right here. One of my favorite things to do is when I'm visiting with somebody, understanding that the average home income, what an average family makes is a little over $50,000 a year. And so if you came to somebody and said, hey, would you like me to show you how you could earn an extra $1,000 a month, and you could do that in a year. And I'm not talking about going and getting another job and going to work and getting paid $1,000 a month with another job. I'm talking about starting a business of your own and building equity and worth. And it could actually not just make an extra $1,000 a month, but be residual. And almost everybody I've shown that to, or just said that, they say, show me more, tell me how to do that. And with this plan that's right here, very realistically, you could make $1,000 a month within a year. In fact, we've got people, of course, that have made $1,000 their first month with this. And of course, you don't have to stop at $1,000 a month. But what an awesome idea right here is just find a few good people. Find what we have here is this model where you can do at least 500. But that compelling idea of, well, if I can get 500 and stay friends with them and love them and let them know about the other products, and a lot of them are consumable, it's very realistic that within a month or two you could build up to the 1,500. And that extra powerful incentive of how it goes up exponentially to 25 to 100 to $225 in Nikken bucks. Obviously, we want you to do that. And so you do 1,500, teach 3 other people to do that. Poof, you're a silver in a couple of months.
You know what else is interesting about this, Dave? I've been noticing with people, and I think you'll appreciate this, Ben. We've been showing this to people, and I didn't realize the power of this, but people can visualize what it would take to make $1,000 or $2,000 a month by looking at this.
Yeah.
Not something they have to try to conjure up in their head. It's even though it would never work out exactly mathematically, I'm going to find 3 with 3. It doesn't matter. What it does is it forms a concrete idea in their head of what they could do. And then instead of having a disconnect between their work and what they want to accomplish, when you look at this in a book, it feels like you're working towards something. I think there's a powerful visual there that when we drew it out, we didn't think the visual of it would be that important. But it's one of the most important things we've noticed, you guys, is that when people can visually see it, because people can't picture 10,000 people. And I think people don't work harder for 10,000 a month because they don't know exactly how to get there. And I think what this does is it gives you an absolute, okay, I'm going from Dallas to Austin. There's the road. It's a little more scary if you're like, well, I'm going somewhere great, but let's just jump in the car and drive, and hopefully there'll be road in front of us. This actually gives you a road.
Well, if you're making $50,000 a month, if that's your household income, and all of a sudden an extra $1,000 comes in, that's a 25% pay raise. And if you could actually visualize doing that within a year, and you got a little bit of ambition in your body, what difference would that make in your family? An extra $1,000 a month? That's so powerful. And then that could be just the beginning, but once you get in, and if you can make 1,000, if you can sell this product to one person, you can sell it to another. And if you can do 2, you can do 3. And so you just do that over again. And if you get a few customers at all, some of them are going to say, are you making any money with this? And you can smile and say, well, yeah. And as Rick talks about upgrade, then they can upgrade and do what you're doing. And it just progresses so naturally. It just happens with the flow of things.
Hey, and speaking of an extra $1,000 a month, whoever brings the most new people when we start ticketing San Antonio at the Orlando event, whoever brings the most Teach Street or Reach Streets filled in at the San Antonio Expo with people that are new in the business, we're going to give $1,000 cash on stage. We're going to put it in your hand. And if there's a tie, we're going to put it in a bag and shake it up, or maybe we'll split it. I don't know what's going on, but let's start paying people and let's have some fun with this. So whoever brings the most new people to the event in 5 blocks, we're going to hand you $1,000. What do you think of that? That sounds pretty awesome. I think Haley Simpson's just nabbed it. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm serious about that. I want to do. It may even be more. If we get up around 2,000 people at the event, which I think we will. We might just do a cash drop of one of those nets and drop it on the whole crowd or something fun. But guys, I'm telling you something. This is going to be the challenge we've had, and I think Dave and Ben, you would agree with this, since we went to the retail model. We shifted so far over because it was like jumping from our left foot to our right foot. I'm going out of the house to retail. The biggest thing we needed to do was make a new transition. The other thing we had to realize is a lot of our new people aren't coming in to be Royal Diamonds necessarily, even though they will be. How do we capture them in the beginning to put them on a trajectory that they don't have to do a hard right turns to now you can turn it into a business? Even if you come in just to make some extra money and you follow this, do you realize you're also laying out the guts for a Royal Diamond run? Even if you're just dabbling in this, you don't have to change gears, switch feet. You don't have to go into an advanced workshop with a whiteboard. You've already laid out the infrastructure for a Royal Diamond run by just wanting to make $500 a month. It connects the top earners in Nikken making $100,000 a month to the person making $500 a month. For the first time since I can remember in Nikken, we now have a direct line between the top earners and the new people.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. Sorry if I get fired up. I'm just
probably very accurate, because if you're making $1,000 a month, you probably have 2 or 3 people in the business. And if you're making $100,000 a month and you've been in the business for years, you probably have 2 or 3 key people. But the difference is just the maturity and depth of that organization. Because if you look at any one of those 2 or 3 key people, look at their business, they have 2 or 3 key people and on down, and it just goes out just like the picture right there. That's exactly how it is.
And by the way, this is also going to tell you if you're building one-legged, you're going to need to go out and look at your second or third leg. It helps you as an upline. I'm telling you, our whole team, we just talked to them tonight, get it down. Our whole focus for the next 2 months is going to be to get these filled out. And like for San Antonio, we're going to get them printed out. We're going to figure out what you want to do in April, May. And then we're going to do May, June, July, August, September, October, filling them. Yeah. Now we're going to make goals for Teach 3 to Reach 3s. And we're going to say, who's in there now? Well, where do you need to work? Then we can execute a game plan to fill them. We can come on calls now and say, who added an extra level to their organization? Let's introduce them on the call. It even gives you a mechanism to run accountability calls to say who added an extra tier, who duplicated a level deep. You actually have a mechanism to mentor now that connects it to the volume, which we didn't have before in my mind. I just never had a good idea. Now I can talk direct shop with people and say, okay, they can say, well, I just got my first level laid out at 500. Now we have something to celebrate. It's everything without having to have a giant stack of papers to train somebody. And you don't have, and I wanted a trainingless training, and I think we got it.
100%. Yeah.
We got unsurpassed product, just bar none, inarguable. We got better product than anybody else has, as far as life-changing, as far as exclusivity, as far as the stories to tell, the thrill, the curiosity to people want to see what it looks like, show and tell, instantaneous, just everything about this is just better than anything. And then we've got the right pricing, so it's very easy to go out and sell the product. And I don't know, how do I say it? The unsurpassed product, immeasurable market, and perfect timing. And all that is left is if you go talk to somebody, you're going to find that there's going to be a good number of people that will. So it's just the magic of the numbers. Talk to enough people, and it will work for you. Your own self, what you do or don't do, that's the only unknown factor in this equation of success. So
I got to tell you guys, I don't remember the last time I got this many chats and texts during a call from people. I don't know if you guys are reading these bracket busters. I mean, I'm going to do, here's the thing. Next week at 9:00 in the same time slot, we're going to do this again with a little on the front. I think people in Nikken need to know about this. We're going to make it look a little prettier. As you all know, I come from a long line of great Irish artists, which means I'm the first. But I am not known for my creativity, but I think it's functional now. But we're going to really step this thing up, and I just can't thank Dave and Ben enough for coming on and sharing their wisdom with it. This came from the field. It came from sitting with new people, for them asking, what do I do? And me sitting there trying to vomit on people, explain something in 3 hours. And finally, I just said, you know what? Here's what you do. And then there's what you do second. There's what you do third. And it was interesting. They just said, okay. And I was like,
let me share something. I got to just share this. Good morning, Dave. Wanted to let you know I received the product. Let's see, James put the sleep system on the bed and I'm testing it out so I can give my testimony of how it works. The pillow was so comfortable. First time I've not had a kinked neck in ages. Also, I didn't get too warm or too cold throughout the night with a comforter on. As for the mattress, I don't remember waking up quite as much. I usually toss and turn to get comfortable because my legs hurt. I think I only woke up twice. And been on the phone with her. Her legs don't hurt. She's super excited. And, I think some other people could benefit from this sleep system. If you don't have one of the new USA-made ones with the Dynaflex magnets, you're missing out because it is measurably better. Ooh.
Well, I got to tell you something, guys. We've always had the best products. We've always had the best business. We just made a quantum leap last year under Ben's guidance and Nikken Inc. I think what we needed to do next was come up with a formula to make the business move fast. And what's the old saying that the ultimate sophistication is simplicity?
Yeah.
And to just strip it down, to hand it to a new person and let them say, okay, I can do that without me screwing it up, overtraining them as an upline. Yet at the same time, I can work with Christina Lair, who's making a platinum run and not have to get out a different document.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was the puzzle. How do I make it work for a platinum? How does it work for an upgrade? How does it work for someone going silver? How does it work when I go out to do retail without screwing up my network building? How do I go out to bring on partners without screwing up my retail? And it all came down to something. How do I lift anything, no matter how big or small? Well, just get a fulcrum and a long board.
Yeah.
And then don't worry. And then it changes. I really believe this is a eureka moment for our business. And I didn't invent this. New people invented this. I just had the pen in my hand. I'm serious about this, you guys. Dave and Ben, I was overtraining people again and watching people just tune out. And it was interesting. I was overtraining upgrades. What's fascinating is when we just stripped it back, and you've got something good when they stop asking questions, and the questions change from what do I do to, oh, I can do this and make money. They were action questions as opposed to what are you people trying to teach me? I believe we put this in motion. I believe it's a key to a new $1 billion in retail with building a network, not two separate things happening to where one thrives and the other doesn't. You got to have both. Anyways, I'll be quiet because I could talk forever. You guys all know I'm a big bag of wind, but I sure appreciate you guys coming on. I was very excited, and thanks for being here.
Simple, fun, easy.
Next Monday night, we'll do it again, and we'll get this thing nailed. So we're going to do a little more robust version for a wider audience again next Monday night. But I can't thank you, and I know you guys have a lot going on. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm of the opinion that we should do a new few billion in Nikken and have more people have those stories. So everybody, thank you. Take care. God bless. Thanks for all the positive feedback. And we love you all. We'll see you next Monday night. We'll do it again. We'll just do it even better again. How about that?
Don't keep it a secret.
All right. Love you all. God bless.